Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to Practical Self-Healing for your soul, heart, mind, and body. This is episode number 8. My name is Alan Chuck. I'm a master healer and teacher of the Tao calligraphy healing field and the Master Sha Tao Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I'm also an editor for Master Sha and his organization, final editor of 27 of his 29 books in English, and of many of the Master Teacher's books, and much of the written content that you may see online on our website and elsewhere. So today I'm going to speak for the first time, and I think I will continue this at least for one more program. You can see I've entitled this Trauma Part 1. And excuse me, I have some seasonal allergies that I'm dealing with. They've been a recurring issue for me. So I don't have any personal experience of trauma myself. I've had a very blessed life, a trauma-free life, really, and truly very grateful for that. But I know that, hopefully you have not suffered from trauma, but we know that many people have suffered from trauma. And it's a very serious experience, whether it be physical or emotional or mental or sexual or whatever it may be. So I just want to offer some help, some suggestions, some ideas. And most of these are really not my ideas. I'm actually going to today start by reading from an ebook, little short ebook called Steps to Identify and Heal Trauma. So welcome to everybody who has joined. And, if you're willing to, of course, if you want to keep things private, no problem. But if you have suffered from trauma, you'd like to post that or post anything about your experience with trauma or other people who have experienced trauma, please feel free to share those comments. So welcome from my heart, Sherry, Laura, Richie, and Cosmic Weave, and Evelyn. So again, this is not my wisdom. I'm literally going to read. Okay, so let me do that. Now we do have, master teachers who are actually experts in trauma. So that's one thing, of course, you might want to consider strongly if you're dealing with trauma. If it's something that you've lived with for years, many, many years perhaps, it can create something called PTSD. That stands for post-traumatic stress syndrome. It's something that is experienced by soldiers in war, for example, very often, very commonly. And it can have deep, deep, deep effects, of course, lasting effects that affects your whole life, affects your whole state of being for literally could be your whole life. So, one thing you would certainly want to consider is getting some professional help. And as I said, we do have some master teachers and healers. I'm thinking specifically of Master Julie and Master Janet in Colorado, United States. And I believe Master Monique in Vancouver is also quite expert in dealing with these types of issues as a professional psychologist. Okay. That said, let me share some wisdom from this ebook. So trauma comes in many different forms. This is from an ebook entitled Steps to Identify and Heal Trauma. Trauma comes in many different forms. Sometimes traumatic events are direct, such as mental and emotional abuse, or completely unexpected dismissal from a rewarding job. sometimes trauma is indirect. And while these examples may be harder to pinpoint and acknowledge, they are still profoundly impactful. We could witness a stranger having a heart attack, for instance. That could traumatize us. Or we could notice that we're affected by something more than sadness if we're supporting someone who's dying of a terminal illness. It's natural to be sad, it's normal to be sad, but there may be something deeper that you notice going on in yourself. It goes beyond normal, expected kind of sadness, and this could also be considered trauma. Okay? So, what is trauma exactly? Physiologically, trauma is relatively straightforward. You have some physical injury, tissue is injured, physical harm occurs. Could be a victim of some violence, whatever it may be. So what happens is that physically the nervous system responds, the immune systems respond to the injury, and the body becomes a process of trying to stabilize things and repair. But there is also usually a psychological impact or trauma that is purely psychological. And psychological trauma is not as obvious. Okay? You have studies, scientific studies, neuroimaging studies of the brain that report physical changes in the brain of people with post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as other biological indicators that this ebook discusses. Again, I'm reading from this ebook, okay? Not my teaching, not my wisdom. However, it's not easy to see that if somebody is traumatized, there could be fear, there could be shock, there could be denial, or other emotions that are not necessarily visible always, manifest always, and these are very common to occur after some traumatic experience, something dangerous or something scary. So we can have normal responses to trauma, normal immediate responses. And these have been categorized by scientists and in this ebook. So they are, one is the fight response, okay? You stand your ground, you fiercely stand your ground, and you try to defend yourself or fight off what is causing you trauma. For instance, a physical attack, okay? The other is the flight response. You just want to run away. You just want to escape the situation. You want to run as far away as possible, okay? Another response is freeze. You just are frozen. You don't know. You can't act. You can't think. You literally cannot move. You cannot respond. Okay, that's the freeze response. You have an inability to act, to even move, to respond in any way. And there's the blacking out or fainting. You can just faint because of a traumatic event that's happening to you. Okay? And finally, there is often difficult to do, but some people have the ability to make a quick adaptation to the situation in order to survive. Okay? So somehow you get inspiration, your creativity kicks in, your inner knowing kicks in, and you know what you have to do to escape or survive this traumatic situation. Okay? So sometimes your adrenaline kicks in, right? You hear these stories of people who have a loved one pinned under a car in an accident, and they're not particularly strong, but somehow they summon the strength to lift the car up off their loved one, and the loved one can escape from under the weight of the car. Okay, so this is a like an action response, certainly. Okay, and you're adapting, and that ability, that decision empowers your body to do what it normally would not be able to do. It mobilizes and concentrates your energy to do what it normally would not be able to do, to lift this heavy car off your pinned loved one. Okay. So again, there are the fight response, the flight response, the freeze response, the faint response, the and the adapting response, which very quickly, almost without thinking, it's almost like you know what to do, and you do it to get out of the situation or just to survive the situation. Okay. So what happens physically is that during physical or physiological injury, or even psychological injury, our nervous system reacts. Okay. There's the automatic part of our nervous system, autonomic nervous system, and that kicks in to react to try to keep us safe. So, these are, whether the traumatic event is truly physically detrimental, we perceive that we're in a traumatic event. Okay, we perceive that we're in great danger, or that we will have some great harm, could have some great harm come to us. That's the key. It's what we think, right? That's the power of our mind. What we feel is going to happen or could happen to us, that automatically triggers our autonomic nervous system. So how does it respond? Well, there's like scientific things between the various hormonal glands in our body, our endocrine system, our hypothalamus, our pituitary gland, our adrenal glands, and they produce hormones, and they transmit messages to our brain that trigger our response to this stress or this trauma. And it depends on the kind of response that we're experiencing, but there are two possibilities, two branches of our autonomic nervous system. Okay? And sometimes we experience actions of the sympathetic nervous system during the fight and flight responses. So what does that mean? And we want to fight, or we want to flight, we want to run away. Our heart races, right? Our heartbeat increases. Our stomach starts turning and churning. And all of our senses are on high alert. Our eyes, our ears, our nose, our everything. Every pore of our skin is like tingling on high alert. And our bodies are literally preparing for either a flight, a run to safety, or a fight, a physical fight, some physical struggle. Okay? The parasympathetic branch of the nervous system is really, though, the main player. And these are all physical responses that we can see and measure. But there's a parasympathetic branch of our automatic nervous system. And this can actually decrease our heart rate, decrease our breathing rate, and decrease our body temperature. Okay? So one thing to self-heal from trauma is that we need to bring our nervous system into balance. Okay? Because when we are suffering from trauma, our nervous system was really triggered, along with many other parts of our being. Our nervous system was really triggered, and it can have, like I said, lasting, lifelong effects. We get anxious very easily. We can't breathe normally even. And these things can come on very suddenly from the memory of the trauma, or thinking of the trauma, or some other trigger that reminds us of the trauma. And this can just set off our whole flight or fight or other responses in our nervous system. So I'm going to just lead you in a practice to balance our nervous system bring love, peace, and harmony to our nervous system. And this will be a beneficial practice for everyone, whether you've suffered from trauma or not. Okay, I hope you've not, but I know many people have. Okay, so we're going to use the 6 power techniques. All right, and body power. You're going to trace a Tao calligraphy I'll show you. All right, that's going to be our body power. When we trace Tao calligraphy with our fingers, with our lower abdomen, the Tai Chi tracing, that becomes our body power. Okay. Sound power, we're going to chant what we trace. What you trace is what you become. What you chant is what you become. We're going to trace love, peace, and harmony. Xiang Ai, love, Ping An, peace, He Xie, harmony. Okay, it goes from my right to your left, my right to my left, okay? Up, down, up, down, up, down, okay? All right, so mind power, we're just going to focus on the calligraphy. We're just going to focus on breathing, okay? Breathe normally, breathe deeply. Inhale through your nose and gently exhale through your mouth at whatever normal rhythm you can do, but breathe as deeply as you can. If you have respiratory issues, you may have some challenges. Do what is natural and comfortable. Okay? Soul power, Tao calligraphy power. This is the Tao calligraphy. And I received this card in the recent fundraising auction for the Love, Peace, Harmony Foundation. So this has a special blessing in it. This has a Tai Guang, an open light blessing in it as well. Soul power, number 1. Please put your hands together and repeat after me. Dear soul, heart, mind, and body of my nervous system, I love you. You have the power to balance yourself in all your responses, autonomic, sympathetic, parasympathetic, and more, to regulate my breathing, my heart rate, my every part of my being, to bring love, peace, and harmony to my nervous system. Do a good job. Dear divine outer souls, Tao Source, spiritual fathers and mothers in heaven, Mother Earth, countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes, I love you. Please bless me with your love, your light, your positive frequency, your vibration to bring love, peace, and harmony to my nervous system. Very grateful. Thank you. All right, so we will practice for a few minutes. I will sing love, peace, and harmony. You trace, and let's do it. Lula, lula, lee. Lula, lula, lee. Lula, lula, lee, lula. Lula, lee, lula. Lula, lee, lula. I love my heart and soul. Breathe in love, peace, and harmony. I love all humanity. Breathe out gently through your mouth all the imbalances and blockages in your nervous system. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. Lula, lula, lee. Lula, lula, lee. Lula, lula, lee, lula. Lula, lee, lula. Lula, lee, lula. Love, peace, and harmony to my nervous system. Love, peace, and harmony to my nervous system. My nervous system is love, peace, and harmony. My nervous system is love, peace, and harmony. I love my heart and soul. Breathe in love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. Light go to your entire nervous system, which covers your whole body. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. So finish your tracing. Xiang I, love, Ping An, peace, He Xie, harmony. Okay, finish, make it a complete circuit. Don't stop in the middle. And you're kind of cutting off the message of love, peace, and harmony. So every time you trace the Tao calligraphy, source oneness writing with the source healing field, make sure you finish when you trace. Okay, how? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love, peace, harmony song, Tao calligraphy, divine Tao source, all layers of saints, Buddhas, angels, guides in heaven, Mother Earth, countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes, and to our own nervous system. So I will continue speaking of trauma. I'll try to learn a little more myself and share more self-healing with you in the next episode. And please share your comments today. I thank you all for joining, and I thank a couple of you who have done a wonderful job typing the key, the essences of the teaching that I have shared. You know, again, it's not my teaching. I took it from an ebook, short ebook called Steps to Identify and, let me make sure I got it right, Steps to Identify and Heal Trauma. And the ebook is by an organization called, I'll type it there, called Health Means, all together. Health Means ebook. Okay, so thank you everyone. I will check your comments. And Sherry, hello everyone. Florida, Laura, hello to California, my home state. Richie, hello to Toronto, my present home. For that, you know, I can't believe I've been in Toronto for almost 15 years, 14 and a half years. And welcome, hello to the Philippines, Evelyn. And Yana, thank you for joining. Liliana, thank you for your comment. Kiru, thank you, love, peace, harmony to London. Rashmi, love, peace, harmony to you. Mumbai, India. Kiru, again to London. And thank you, Cosmic Weave, for typing the notes. And Patricia to Trinidad, Tobago, I believe. And Upma, love, peace, harmony to you as well. All right, so Annika from the Netherlands, love, peace, harmony to the Netherlands. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Okay, love you, love you, love you. Remember, if you're watching today, Monday, Master Shah has his Facebook Live show in a little more than 3 hours, hosted by Bill Gladstone, one of his publishers actually as well, you know. So enjoy that as well today and have a beautiful Monday or whatever day it is you're watching today's program. Bye bye, everyone. Love, peace, harmony. Love, peace, harmony. Love, peace, harmony.